Hi, my name is JD and this is my channel Frost and Forest. So it's been a little while since I've made a video. I know in YouTube world it only looks like I missed a week, but because of the way, I record videos ahead of time, it's actually been quite a while for me. I'm trying to get back in the habit of doing this because I do enjoy it. Today, I am just going to do a simple haul video. Over the last 2-ish weeks, week and a half, it's been really hard for me, and I've gotten a few decks in that I haven't really had a chance to appreciate because things have been hard. So I figured this would be a good way to kind of appreciate some of the things that have come in and also get back into the routine of making videos. And honestly, just to help me be more comfortable in my office / tarot space. We did end up having to say goodbye to our kitty earlier a few days ago, and she used to spend a lot of time with me in this space. And so, this is a space that I really care about, and so I want to get comfortable again being in this space without her. So that's also kind of a goal of this video. That's a lot, and a lot of it is not happy. I do have some cool decks that I'm excited to share with you all. Let's start looking at some decks. Which deck do I want to start with? The first deck I'm going to talk to you about is the Spiritual Meaning of Birds, an oracle deck. This deck I actually pre-ordered, and I will start flipping through. These are the beautiful backs. I love those backs. This is a deck that I actually pre-ordered because I love birds. I love bird watching. I love learning how to identify different birds. We actually have a bird feeder up now. It was down for a while, and so I always love it when I get an opportunity to learn how to ID a new bird. I also really love the Little Bird Tarot, and so when I saw this one, I was actually pretty excited because I thought that this one would pair beautifully with that deck. And it has. I haven't used it a ton yet, but for the little bit that I did use it for, it seems like a great deck. This is made by the same creator that did the Green Witch Oracle, which is another deck that I really love. So I think this art style is great. I love the blue color. I will tell you though, it kind of threw me a little bit that the back is like green, even though I like it, and the front is blue. For some reason that just feels a little disconnected to me, but that is totally fine also, because this is a great deck. It has the bird species, but it also has some great keywords on it. And oh, I love blue jays. That's so cool. I think blue jays, especially where I'm from, get kind of a bad rap because they can be kind of a bully, especially at bird feeders. But when they migrate south, they are actually a bird that is bullied more because they're smaller. And so it's just interesting how that changes depending on where they are in their migration cycle. So anyway, little side note on birds. I love chickadees too. I know they're another bird that can get kind of a bad rap, but whenever we have to take our bird feeders down for any reason, our chickadees are always the first ones back. So they have a soft spot. I have a soft spot for chickadees. Anyway, so this deck is really beautiful, and I can see myself using this a lot, especially in spring as I get excited for birds coming back. So yeah, this was the Spiritual Meaning of Birds Oracle. Oops. This one that I'm going to talk to you about is the Pagan Otherworlds. This is another new deck to me. These are the backs. Very nice. This deck is one of those decks that, you know, everybody knows about. Everybody has seen it. It's very common. It's also one of the decks that I have forever gone back and forth about if I want to get it. On the one hand, it seems like the kind of deck that I would really like. On the other hand, I just was never exactly drawn to getting it. I have the moon cards mixed in, but what ended up changing my mind, I love this temperance card. What ended up changing my mind is that I did find it for a pretty good price with the guidebook, which I was pretty excited about. And so I just decided I would try it and see what I think, because I do like the painting feeling to it. I do like, you know, some of these cards that feel more wintry. I do like the sort of pagan-y feeling that is there, the sort of historical feeling there. All of those things just make me really like it. And so, I don't know. And it's definitely one of those decks that's like pips with feelings. And so I think it'll be a pretty easy reader. So I just saw it and it felt right to just get it. So, and you know, everybody raves about it, so I wanted to try it. So we'll see. It's so beautiful. Anyway, I love the frog in that card. Anyway, so this is a new deck to my collection. Next deck that I am going to talk about is the Chocolate Lovers message card. And this is a deck that I actually won in a giveaway on Robin's Reflections channel. And so on the front, it is the type of chocolate, and then it is a keyword. And then on the back, it has sort of that oracle / affirmation reading. And so this deck is not the kind of deck that I would have bought for myself. It, you know, I like chocolate, kind of. I mean, I like very specific types of chocolate. I like milk chocolate. I like chocolate that's like truffly. But if something is chocolate, that can be a little bit too much for me. So, like I said, this is not the kind of deck I would have bought for myself. But the keywords are really good. I think the art is really beautiful, being all chocolate. And it does feel like a more balanced affirmation deck. It's not just all completely, totally positive, but it is more positive. So like Shadow Self. And so this of the decks that I'm showing you today is actually the only deck that I have used of the new ones, really. This, like I said, this week has been pretty hard, and I have been pulling a chocolate card every day to try to keep tabs on myself and to try to, you know, just take care of myself as much as I can. I guess kind of, I don't want to say spiritually, but like just being aware of myself and what I need while also dealing with hard things. And so this deck just showed up at exactly the time that I needed it to, which is awesome. And so I'm really excited to have this deck, and I will keep it around for sure. So yeah, this is the Chocolate Lovers message cards. Okay, I just have a couple more decks that I'm going to show you all, because I didn't have that many decks come in recently. The next deck that I'm going to show you is the Penumbra Tarot. So this one is still in order, so you can tell I haven't really had a chance to work with this one yet. But this is a new deck that just came in within the last week and a half. 2 weeks, somewhere in there. Time's weird. But it's one of those decks that has been kind of on my wish list for a long time, but it kind of got pushed aside for other decks because it kind of was like, well, you know, I can always get this at another time. But recently I got an email. I love this death card. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck and one of the reasons why I got it, but I love it. Anyway, but I got an email because I'm on Ethany's newsletter / mailing list, emailing list. Is that a thing? I don't know. Anyway, and as a part of that email, she said that she was going to be moving her inventory to Canada. And so US based prices on shipping, we're going to go up starting in maybe at the end of May, after May, maybe. And so if you wanted to get it with local-ish shipping prices, you need to do it soon. So that kind of got me over the edge on getting this deck because I did want to get it before I started having to get it from Canada. And this is just, I have to say the colors in this deck are just beautiful. I don't think that the what you see in the video does the colors justice. I just think they're really beautiful, especially the blues and the greens in this deck. Of course, I say that while we're looking at torches, and the purples in this deck are just beautiful. Sorry, spider warning. I'm a little bit too late, I guess. But anyway, this is just a deck that I'm happy to have. I'm happy to get to know it better. Here are some of the blues that I'm talking about. These blues and greens are so beautiful. I love those colors. So yeah, you know, I finally got over the hump and decided to get this deck. Last deck that I'm going to show you all is, it's called the Unquiet-Rooted in Power Oracle. It is one of MJ Coulinane. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. New independent decks. This is pretty new. I pre-ordered it. Sorry about that, folks. We had like 5 police officers just race past our house. So I don't know what that was about. But anyway, I paused for a second there to wait for them to pass. So this is the Unquiet-Rooted in Power Oracle. And so it comes in this velvet bag. And I already showed you the guidebook briefly, but I'll talk more about that in a minute. Here is the cards. I have to say, I was a little bit surprised about this deck. You know, this was like indie deck prices. I think it was like maybe in the 40s, $40, somewhere in there. And it didn't have a ton of cards. I think it was maybe like 24 cards or something like that. I don't remember. But anyway, but it was an indie deck price. And so I was a little bit surprised when it came in just a velvet bag, and like the card stock feels a little bit like cardboardy. I've tried shuffling this deck and it doesn't shuffle super well because it's super stiff and it's also small, and there's also not a ton of cards. So I guess I was a little bit surprised because in the past, some of her indie decks that I have been, you know, really luscious and have a nice box and all of these things. But I'm still really excited. These are the backs to have this deck. It has a very sort of feminist bent to it, and I like that. I also really like the collage style. I like the kind of more pastel colors with the red highlight here. I just think I like it a lot. And so this is kind of a cool deck. I haven't explored it a ton, but I like the keywords. Sacred No. So as you can see, it has kind of a feminist vibe bent to it. But yeah, it seems like an interesting deck. And I'm excited to try it out a little bit more. And, you know, I think part of the awesomeness of this deck is the guidebook, because, and again, I'm going to try not to set the guidebook on fire and actually show you something that you can see. It's just big. So, you know, you get a lot of information for each card. And one of the things that I love is you get like a spread. Hold on. That way you can see a little bit more. Is you get a spread for each card. And so I could see myself, you know, pulling a card and then picking a deck to kind of match that card. So like Tongue of Fire. Pick a deck that feels kind of holds that energy, and then do the spread that is in the guidebook as a way to use this deck. And I think if you use it in that way, the fact that there are only 20, maybe 20 something cards, will, you know, not feel so bad, because you're using it more as sort of a starter energy or a direction for the reading that you're doing. So yeah, that is the Unquiet Oracle. So thank you so much for stopping by. These are the decks that I have gotten in the last couple weeks. But yeah, that's my haul. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you soon.